Sriram, before we get Manu to take us through the numbers, just an overall political perspective from the ground as an observer, what you've seen change in the campaigns, how have these campaigns gone up and down for all the three contenders? Sriram, go ahead.
Barkha, about 18 months back, we had a discussion on this show between Yashwant Deshmukh, you and I, and a couple of others. And
Yes.
Mr. Deshmukh had said that Congress is finished. And I had said at this point of time, I can see a clear route of victory for all the three parties. I will now disappoint Anil a little bit. It is not a three-cornered contest in Telangana. There are 4 or 5 seats where BJP has a good edge, and another 5, 6 seats where they are in reckoning. Otherwise, it's a straightforward fight between the BRS and the Congress party. In fact, the numbers that you show of C voter, I saw them to the last decimal. The difference at 39 and 41 looks like 2%. It's actually almost a percentage. And why this could give Congress a victory over BRS is because the vote percentage of BRS is spread evenly across 112 constituencies, adding 7 of the MIN, whereas Congress is very strong in about 95. So about 10, 15 seats in northern Telangana, especially in Nizamabad and Adilabad. That's where the fight will be between BRS and BJP predominantly. So Congress could actually end up getting maybe a few seats, few votes less and more seats in form government. I'm seriously saying this to you. Congress is in running to win this election. The race is tight.
What explains that? What explains that a few months ago, the BJP had put all of its energy and sort of resources in this election. It looked like it was vying for at least being the main opposition party. The Congress, you're saying now, is not just gunning for number 2. You're saying there's a chance that it could unrest the BRS. Dr. Rakesh of the BRS is finally with us, and we'll get a response from him quickly. But what has changed? What has changed, Sriram?
See, when Congress was extremely weak and people were very disappointed, at least the anti-KCR sentiment, those who had it, they looked at BJP as a hope, and BJP did very well under Bandi Sanjay for a while. They peaked at about 24, 25%. And from there, they changed. They took a series of decisions that were all wrong. They removed Bandi Sanjay. At least the Congress was able to successfully take this message that was alluded to, that BJP, BRS, bhai, that they are together. And that really has not only harmed the BJP, but it's also actually starting to affect MIM, which for the first time may lose 1 or 2 seats out of its historic stranglehold of 7 seats. Nampally, they are losing, and they could lose 1 more seat. I don't have.
But you're not telling me the reason. I want to get Dr. Rakesh in.
Simple. The entire anti-incumbency that BRS and the BJP and the Bandi Sanjay accumulated, BJP thought when it was doing well in GHMC, it was BJP vote. It was not. It was anti-BRS vote. And when they did not act against Kavitha in the Delhi liquor scam, and this helped the Congress portray that BRS and BJP are together, which was strengthened when Prime Minister Modi recently came and spoke and said, KCR came to me. He asked me for permission to change the chief minister and make my son. And when Mr. Modi said all this, Mr. KCR has not yet spoken against it. So the Muslim community has totally moved to the Congress from BRS. It was fully with the BRS in the last election. I believe the movement down from BJP, the fact that Congress is seen as the only alternative, means in about 9,500 seats, the fight is between BRS, and the central question in the minds of the people of Telangana is this: do you want to give K. Chandrasekhar Rao a third term? There are those who will say yes, there are those who will say no, and those who say no do not look at the BJP as an option at all, except in a handful of seats.
Manu, you've been waiting patiently. And I have a question looking at these numbers, which really confuses me. If you look at, you asked a question in the state, C voter, how many people are angry with the government and would like to see a new government? Can we actually go to that slide? Because that's a staggering number. If I remember it, it's can you take the banner off? 57% say they're angry. Take the banner off. 57% people say they're angry and they want to change the government. So anti-incumbency is a reality. Look at this number. On the other hand, KCR. Can we go back to Manu now? KCR remains the preferred choice for chief minister, even though if you look at the satisfaction with the state government's work and with the, KCR's own work, the numbers are not terribly high. Manu, how do we understand this seeming paradox that 57% of people in the state want a different government, but yet KCR remains the preferred choice for chief minister?
Well, Barkha, it's the classic paradox in the Indian politics. We often have had powerful leaders and popular leaders leading regimes or cabinets which were not really popular. So anti-incumbency plays out at multiple levels. It plays out at the level of the MLA, at the minister, and perhaps sometimes even at the party. So even the party cadre can garner sufficient anti-incumbency against itself despite not being in a legislative capacity or an official capacity. So what we are witnessing is that it's a multiple term government that has a lot of, perhaps we can say, non-performers, and they have accumulated a lot of anti-incumbency. And what Mr. KCR currently is doing is perhaps trying to overcome, the pitfall generated by them. But it seems that he's falling short somewhere.
But then how do you explain the fact that he still remains by about 5 or 6 percentage points the most preferred CM candidate, Manu? Can we have a look at that
Well,
slide, please? Yes, Manu. Yeah.
yeah, well, there are two factors behind his popularity. Obviously, the first one is that he was the leader of the movement for statehood. So, there is that nostalgia, there is that residual feeling of, I would say, goodwill towards him. And the second bit has been that his welfare policies in the past were well received. So,
Right.
the legacy voters continue to love him, and they are a significant chunk, and that is the precise reason why we cannot say that BRS is on the way out. Actually, it may be ahead by a bit.
Despite the anti-incumbency.
Yes.